Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Mandela Effect. The human anatomy has changed. This video is not for folks who are what we call natives. They were born here. You're native to this planet, flat Earth. I don't care what you want to call this place, because everyone wants to argue about where we live. This is for the folks that are what we call old earthers, is one name. Folks like this use the terminology we've been Mandela'd. So this video is for those folks. To the natives, I just want to say to you that it is my theory that nothing, I'll say it again, nothing, I'll say it again, nothing has changed here. The human anatomy is as it always has been for you folks. It's always been the Berenstain Bears. It's always been Luke, know I'm your father. It's always been life is like a box of chocolates. In the Field of Dreams, it's always been, if you build it, he will come. He will come. I'm sorry, I have a speech impediment for those who don't know. I have to really concentrate sometimes, and I get a little riled up when I do these videos. So, anyway. This is, let me make sure I got this in the screen viewer right. Hopefully, dang it, do I? Okay, I'll do like that. Hopefully, I have this in the screen viewer. For those of you who don't know, I'm a 15-year back pain sufferer. I have an intimate knowledge of my body, its skeleton, and everything about it. I have had 15 epidural shots under fluoroscopic x-ray. I have had a couple back surgeries. I have done everything under the sun, acupuncture with electrical stimulation, Rolfer. Oh, it's spelled R-O-L-P-H-E-R. Rolfers specialize on the structural integrity of your body. If you've ever had a chicken and you peel off the skin and there's that mucus stuff, I think I moved this again. That is called the connective tissue. Rolfers manipulate the connective tissue, which then manipulates your muscles, and you have some muscles over time that are short and long, tight, not tight, etc. So they manipulate the connective tissue, which then gets your muscles back to where they were supposed to be, which in turn gets your skeleton back to where it's proper position. It's called structural integrity. You can look up Rolfers. I have been taught how to massage myself, and I know where my ribs are. And I learned through the years that, as you change insurance companies, you have a doctor that's in network and now he's not. It's a pain in the butt to get your medical records and x-rays transferred. So I have in my personal possession my full body original film x-rays, MRIs. I had the joy of sitting in that MRI machine 3 times in my life. I can't tell you how many x-rays I've had. I know the skeleton intimately. A lot of folks say, oh, you're using a bunch of CGI and stuff like that. So, okay, fine. Since you don't have the time to research and just Google an x-ray on your own, I don't know why you don't, but sure. Okay. Well, let's go here. So basically, this is our current body, the native to this world, and you have these floating rib in the back. That's what everybody's in an uproar about, because we, from the old Earth, had a completely different rib cage. They're much thicker bones. They're more horizontal. the natives have thinner bones and they go upwards, and they have these bones that go up into the neck, and they have this floating rib cage, floating ribs in the back. The natives had the floating ribs in the back, and they had one less rib. A lot of people want to say that, oh, you know, in the Bible it says, you know, God took a rib from Adam, and, you know, and it's just a big fairy tale. But on the old earth, it's a fact. Men really did have one less rib, and women did not. And I don't expect the natives to believe that, but the old earthers know what I'm talking about. We did not have this lower part of the... Boy, this thing just looks crazy to us. This is how we look. This is us. Our hip bones were shaped like this, where the natives, they're closer together, upright. I don't really want to, you know, and the natives have an eye socket. Their eye sockets, there's a bone behind it with a small hole for the optic nerve. Old earthers, it's completely hollow. Natives have this little space between the teeth and jawbone. Old earthers did not. Natives have this big indent in the skull. We did not. Our shoulders were like this. Your shoulders are like this. And you have this hollow thing down here. Natives have this. Old Earth did not. There's a lot of differences between the old Earth. So, if you're a native, then you should find this interesting, if not a science fiction story, about how there's a Homo sapien species that is completely alien to you, that exists on another Earth. Again, my theory is nothing has changed here. To natives, it's always been this way and it always has been. And I'm going to support your theory in a moment. My theory is, I have been experiencing the Mandela effect for over 20 years. I've been moving back and forth between the old Earth and the new Earth and noticing these differences all my life. Around August of 2015 is when the transports apparently seemed to have stopped. And then everybody started waking up to, hey, I have a new body. Hey, everything's different. The logos, the Volvo sign, lines in movies. Everyone started catching on to how everything is completely different here. It's because you stop moving back and forth. The scary thing is, and I'm going to show you some proof in a moment here, is my hypothesis, and I believe it to be true, that the old Earth, and I have this report from numerous sources all over the world, independent, unrelated to each other, that an angel came to them and said the old Earth is going to go through trials and tribulations, what we talk about in the book of Revelation, and that they do not need to go through this, and therefore they are being moved to this Earth. When they were moved here, myself included, our consciousness was moved here, not our physical bodies. So, again, I know my body intimately. I know my skeleton, and when I first learned that the natives have this skeleton, I thought I was being involved in a government psyop. I really did. I thought I was being fed fake information. I didn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. I went to different friends' houses, worked different IP addresses because I was convinced I was just being fed bogus information. But out of countless researches, lo and behold, it's true. This is the skeleton that we now have. I was in total disbelief, so I couldn't believe my x-rays had changed, and so I went and got my own x-rays. Can you still see this? I know my skeleton, and this is on old Earth. I even used to sit in chiropractors' offices and have these weights sitting on my neck to try to get the curvature back in. I used to wear this halo device around my neck. People like, did you get in a car accident? What happened? My neck was straight, but never this straight. Furthermore, on the old Earth, our brain, this did not connect here. It connected further back in the brain. And I go over this in my other video, The Human Anatomy Has Changed. This brain has a much larger primal brain. The executive function is much smaller. What connects the left and right brain is much larger. It's just a completely different brain structure here. And these bones connect into the brainstem connects in this part of the brain, completely different. The bone is much larger here. And this is my x-ray. And again, for 15 years, I know my x-ray. And lo and behold, I have a native skeleton. I was in complete shock and dismay. I really couldn't believe it. So let's go on to the next x-ray. I did not have these bones the way they circle around. Yes, we have the collarbone, but we did not have these bones on the old Earth. So this is a native. Again, nothing changed. The skeleton's always been here. It's always been this way. So critics, leave me alone. There's a space here, jawbone much bigger. You can see that there's now a bone behind the eye sockets. This is my skeleton. I couldn't believe it. I have a 100% completely different skeleton here, which the only logical conclusion is that my consciousness was moved here. And now I will show you my rib cage. There's bands that go around the body. If you don't know, they're around your head. There's I think 7 bands if I remember correctly, and it's necessary for me to massage the band that goes across here, and I couldn't do it because, again, what did I do with that? I was used to this band that goes across the body, and it goes, massage the band in a horizontal manner. But here, when you do that, I kept running into problems. I'm like, what the heck's going on? And then one day I realized, oh, the ribs go up, and I have to massage in an upward position. That was a terrifying moment in my life. Completely scared the crap out of me. So here's my x-ray. These are my floating ribs in the back. So I have a completely different skeleton. And you can see the bones are much thinner compared to old Earth, and they go at these extreme angles compared to old Earth. This right here is my kidney, and this here is my kidney. I should show you a picture of my heart. My heart is, well, I won't go into that. And then, of course, I have the native, this thing here. Just mind-boggling. So I'm a little bit lost for words right now. I don't know what to say. The natives have all the proof, but we have what's called residual. You go in the archives, and people are saying, well, why is this residual? How come in newspaper articles we can find Berenstain Bears instead of Berenstain? How come we can find evidence of the old Earth here? The reason is because the Mandela effect is nothing new. It's been going on our entire lives. Inside information, I don't want to go into it. The technology that's being used has been around as time is measured on Earth for 100,000 years. It's been so much, pretty much perfected in the last 2000, last couple hundred. It's been really fine tuned. However, to this day, whenever they use this technology, which is manipulating time, space, and matter, there's still a 10% degree of accuracy. Excuse me, 10% degree of inaccuracy. There's an error rate of 10%. Again, folks, you've been moved back and forth your whole lives. You just don't know it. So you have, let's say, a newspaper writer and an editor on the old Earth. He's moved here, and he writes an article about the Berenstain Bears, and then it gets written in the newspapers here, and it's left here, and then they're moved back to the old Earth, and they have no knowledge of it. You have interview with a vampire or the vampire. You have an old Earther that comes here. He does his work, and it gets imprinted in this reality, and then he goes back to his reality. The reason we have these residual effects is because we have been moved back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth all our lives. And when an old Earther is here and does something on this current timeline, this current Earth, his work stays here. And this is why we have the residual effect. It's not a residual effect. Really, it's just an old Earther was here, did his normal job, and then he moved back. In August of 2015, something happened to the technology. I could go into that, but I really don't want to at this time. And apparently, basically, old Earth, from my reports I have, is going through World War III tribulations, and so the transportations stopped in August of 2015. There are folks, according to their karma, what they needed, their life mission, their purpose, the reason they're here, they needed to experience hell and turmoil, but you did not. And I'm not speaking to the natives right now, I'm talking to the old Earthers. So the old Earthers, your soul, your mission, your purpose, it was not necessary for you to go through, on a karmic level, through trials and tribulations and revelations and World War III and see the destruction of Earth and all that turmoil stuff, so you were brought here. This Earth is a very controlled Earth. When they say life was like a box of chocolates on the old Earth, because it was, that is known as free Earth. The old Earth is free Earth, where pretty much anything goes. This Earth is known as controlled Earth, where everything's controlled. So on the old Earth, life was like a box of chocolates, because it was. You didn't know what was going to happen. But here, life is like a box of chocolates. There's no wondering. There's no questions. Everything's controlled. Mr. Rogers on the old Earth it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, because over there it is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. But here, it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, because you're no longer in the neighborhood. You're in this neighborhood. And the list just goes on and on. I think I need to stop. Yeah, I need to stop. All right. So, yeah. I don't want to go too far, folks. Yeah, that's it. God bless. Good night. I'm going to stop.